Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to this video. I'm gonna give you guys a quick fix if you guys have this crank no start issue. This is very common with older Honda and Acura vehicles. So a couple of days ago I had this issue come up. The car was driving fine, the vehicle was driving fine, the car was driving fine, no issues whatsoever. No check engine light. Went to get something to eat at a Wendy's. Came out 30 minutes ago. Afterwards, tried to start it and had this issue where it would crank and it wouldn't start. Right off the bat, I was kind of worried about it, but tried it again. Tried a couple of times. Still kept on doing the same thing. I would try to shift it to neutral, try to start it. It didn't do anything, but continued doing the same thing, which is a strong crank and a no start issue. So right off the bat, just like you guys, if you guys are watching this video, you guys are probably trying to figure out, well, what's the easiest way to get, what's the easiest fix for a situation like this. Hopefully it's an easy fix. So you try to troubleshoot the situation. So basically, in all these situations, I'm always thinking it's the battery first. There's something wrong with the battery. But here's the thing, all right? If you're having a crank no start issue and it's a strong crank, and every time I try to start it, it was a strong crank. I've had no issues with the battery. Changed it up about 6 months ago. Had no issues with the battery at all. And because it was a strong crank, and I pretty much just left it there as far as the battery is concerned. I pretty much knew that it probably wasn't the battery was the issue. If I had a slow crank, or if it was trying to turn over slowly, then I would probably think it was the battery, maybe the terminals that were dirty, maybe the terminals that were loose or something like that. But in this case, I thought it might be something maybe like having to do with some issue with a sensor that had issues, or a fuse or a relay or something with the fuse system or something like that. So right after battery, I was thinking to myself, okay, I didn't notice a check engine light. I'm pretty sure I didn't have a check engine light. Haven't had a check engine light on this car for quite a while. So I was thinking to myself, okay, I had an OBD2 reader, one of those $20 OBD2 readers that you can get at Walmart. I have one of them with me all the time. So what I did was I plugged it in and scanned it. Now I'm pretty sure I wasn't gonna get any codes because I didn't have a check engine light, and but I scanned it anyway because I had an OBD2 reader with me. Always a good thing to be sure, just to eliminate stuff that could cause this issue. Stuff like the mass airflow sensor, stuff like the camshaft position sensor, stuff like the crankshaft position sensor, stuff like the throttle body a throttle position sensor. All those things have a sensor that would throw a code, or any other sensor in the vehicle that would throw a code. It went all the way, read all the way through, which is good, because when it read all the way through, I was pretty sure I didn't have to worry about maybe an ECU issue or anything like that, and came up with 0 issues, no codes, no trouble codes. All right, no check engine light, no trouble codes. That's good. I don't have to worry about all those sensors that I've listed. I don't have to worry about all the sensors that I didn't list just now. And if you guys don't have a check engine light, then you guys don't have to worry about that too, because if you guys did have a check engine light, then that would definitely be a route to go as far as trying to troubleshoot this situation. All right, so I could essentially pretty much 99% eliminate all those sensors that could be causing this issue. So which is a good thing, because as far as troubleshooting is concerned, you can actually just troubleshoot it to the point where you can kind of figure out what the problem is, particularly if you don't have particular tools to do it but I did have the OBD2 reader. So that, okay, so moving on from that, if you guys are in this situation, let's move on to other things you guys could check for in this situation. So easy things, let's get rid of the easy things first. Okay, if I was sitting there and I was thinking, let's troubleshoot all the easy things first so that we can eliminate, or if it's an easy fix because it's one of those easy things that could cause something like this. So I'm thinking to myself, you know what, I've had situations before where the remote on the key fob had issues. The remote on the key fob had issues where the battery was bad, the battery was dead. And I was thinking to myself, maybe it's the battery and key fob that's causing this issue. Maybe that's possible. That's the battery and key fob that's either weak or dead that's causing this issue. And again, I doubt it because I changed the battery on the key fob like 8 months ago. It was changed 8 months ago. It wouldn't die out this fast. On top of that, everything on the remote works. All right, everything on the remote works. If you have a battery issue on the remote, your remote's not going to work. Your doors, your door lock's not going to go up and down, and none of those will work. Well, it will work sporadically sometimes. So I could eliminate that. So that gets eliminated. All right. So my next step after that was I pretty much is to look at the fuses. Now, here's the thing. All right. I didn't have a fuse tester with me. All right. I was looking at the fuse box just to see if I could smell any kind of burnt smell. I was looking at the fuse box to see whether there was any kind of brownish burnt appearance on any of the fuses. Looked under the hood, checked out all the fuses under the hood to see whether that's the problem. Didn't notice any of it. And then I was trying to look at the fuse box under the steering wheel, but didn't have enough light. Couldn't actually figure out from eyesight where couldn't actually figure out. So I was thinking to myself, let me figure out what's something that's common to Hondas and Acuras that would cause this situation. Now, it was pretty warm out, and I've known about this particular situation that occurs mostly with Hondas and Acuras, and that is the fuel pump relay. All right, because I couldn't figure out the whether the fuses were blown, or I couldn't figure out 100% for a fact that a certain fuse was blown, etc., etc. I was like, maybe it's probably the fuel system. All right, now if I had starter fuel on me, I would spray some starter fuel fluid inside the intake and try to start it. If it started up for like a second or two and then it dies out, then I would know for a fact that it's not something that I know something that I would know that it was something that was related to the fuel system. But seeing as how this situation was getting to the point where I would need some tools and stuff, tools like a fuel tester to check it out, I was thinking to myself, you know what, let me just I know of this particular situation that happens quite a bit with older Hondas and Acuras, and that's if it's the fuel system, it's either going to be a couple of things: either the fuel pump filter that's clogged, or the fuel pump relays. All right, and because it's cranking and not starting, I was thinking that it's probably the fuel system, but I can't 100% say that for a fact, because it could possibly be a fuse that's blown. All right, but in any case, I like you, I was watching videos, I looked up a lot of things, and apparently with Hondas, there is an issue with the fuel pump of the main. It's called main fuel pump relay. It's called PGMFI relay. I'm sorry, it's the fuel pump relay, PGMFI main relay. And I was hoping that was the problem. I was hoping that was the problem, which would be a relatively easy fix, or some kind of fuse blown, because changing out the fuel pump is not the worst case scenario. It's really not the worst case scenario, but I'd rather change out a relay or fuse or something like that. I was thinking about it. It's probably not the fuel filter, because if it was the fuel filter, you would have you wouldn't have just a crank no start. You would have like a sporadic starting and it dies out suddenly, etc., etc. But anyway, I kind of just didn't go in that direction as far as the fuel filter. Okay, so the PGMI main relay. Now at this point, I was like, you know what? Let me get a fuse, a couple tools that I didn't have with me. There was an AutoZone nearby. I walked to the AutoZone and I got a couple things. Okay, I bought some starter fluid. I bought a fuse tester, and I bought the PGMFI relay. All right, I bought those three things. I sprayed starter fluid in the intake, try to start, and it did start up for a couple of seconds. I sprayed a lot of starter fluid in the intake, and it did start up for a couple of seconds, and then it died out. So I knew it was a fuse system, but I still used the fuse tester to test out all the fuses under the hood and under the steering wheel, and well, that whole compartment, and checked all the fuses. All the fuses were good. All right, so my only troubleshooting options as far as the issues that could cause this issue was either a bad something that was clogged as far as the fuse system, B, a bad fuel pump, or the PGMI fuse, which I could swap out. And I swapped out the PGMI fuse. All right, that's the fuse. That's the relay that I swapped out, which is the PGMI main fuse, because that would have been the easiest option with what I had. That was the easiest option. Now, if you guys don't know where the PGMI fuse is in your vehicle, a lot of times it's located behind the glove box. It's not that difficult to get to. Sometimes it's located under the steering wheel, where right next to where the fuse box, the secondary fuse box is, depending on which your vehicle is. But you're gonna have to look for it for that. But that's the fuse. That's the relay, the PGMFI relay that you guys gonna have to look for and replace. It's not the hardest thing. I replaced it, and after I replaced it, it started up real fast without any problems. So after that, I knew that it was the PGMFI main relay that was causing the issue. That PGMFI relay is essentially an on-off switch relay for the fuel pump. Apparently, those relays are faulty. Apparently, those relays are faulty when weather conditions are it's either real hot out or real cold out. And don't ask me why, but apparently that's extreme weather, whether it's really cold out, really hot out, will actually cause this relay to falter. And sometimes it falters during those kind of weather temperatures, and then it works again when it kind of works and not work it sporadically, depending on whether there's extreme temperature. And even with extreme temperature, it kind of sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, etc., etc. But anyway, if this is your situation, I hope that this video has helped you guys out as far as troubleshooting is concerned. I hope that this helps you navigate as far as fixing the issue that you have. I hope that this was an easy fix for you guys, because it was an easy fix for me, outside of needing to get a bunch of tools and work on the and spending money on the fuel pump, etc., etc. If you guys have your own personal experiences with this, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. Please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Appreciate your time. All right, guys, take care.